So in this video we're going to attempt to repair this 3/4 inch drive impact gun. This is a Milwaukee 2764 and the date code was 2014-26, and this is the second time that it's going to have the electronics rebuilt. So I think the warranty on these is 5 years, and it was right around 5 years old when I got the electronics replaced the first time. And then this summer the same thing happened where you would push the trigger and it would become kind of unresponsive. You bang on it a couple times and you might be able to get it to work. And since then it's gotten to the point now where nothing is working in it. And basically when you buy, you can go into the Milwaukee website, you put in the CAD ID on the unit and you put in the beginning of the serial number, and it'll give you a drawing of the replacement parts. So for this particular one, it was 1420092, but that part was discontinued with a 93, and in Canadian dollars, I think this is worth about 450 bucks, and then this part was 200 bucks. So you'll save some tax if you repair it, and you're replacing all the electronics in this device except for the rotor that drives the impact gun. So this doesn't have a lot of use on it. Like, I've broken one 3/4 by half adapter on it, and the first one was like a Williams, and so that's sort of like the industrial version of snap-on. And it took quite a while to snap that off. It broke off the end, which is pretty common with reducers. So I guess we'll start taking this thing apart, and we'll take a quick look at the electronics. So it comes with some little foam pad and a screw, and then the electronics. So it's got the stator. The windings are, I wouldn't say they're crude, but they're not like perfect. I think they're probably hand done. There's a conformal coating on here so you don't get mold growing on the electronics or dust sticking to it and shorting it out. Down here there's the button for the range selection with the 2 LEDs, and then obviously the trigger is right here, and then there's like one ground screw. There's the light down here. So we're going to replace all of this stuff, and so Mr. Makita is going to come to the rescue. I think it was all T20 to take this thing apart. So if you go online, like the Parts Strong has also got instructions on how to assemble the wiring. So see if this comes off on its own or not. I'm thinking not. It's going to be a bit of a puzzle. Should disconnect the battery. Yeah, it even comes with a new battery connector. So you got different, like the screws here. We'll have to keep track of that. Just leave that in there. That one, I guess I took that one out already. Or it's missing. think we got them all. Just looking for anything that obvious that might be bad in it. Like, it's dirty. Like, people have commented in my videos I don't take very good care of this tool. And I suppose that's fairly accurate. In my mind, it's a tool that's working for me and not the other way around. So this seems to come apart fairly well. There's the plastic piece, or the foam to hold the wires down. So let's see if it's going to start working miraculously somehow. It did, so I may not even need the electronics. No, and that's like the problem. It's not reliable. I haven't seen it work lately though. It sort of smells some burning. And that's the other issue, is that you could disconnect the battery and it would start to work again briefly, and then it'll stop working. It does not smell good. There's something bad happening here. I don't think it's the battery shorting out. That is a bit of an issue. Like with these, most of their tools has like a safety switch. It'll just turn off when you let go. I have a vacuum that burns up the batteries, because if it dies, you take out the battery, and then you forget that it died. You put in a new battery, and it arcs out the new one that's charged. Yeah, it's probably not good for it to run it when it's not housed in here very well. So we'll continue the disassembly. Battery is over here. Lift up the hardware here. I am not going to service the hammer system. Okay, so that's just held in by magnets. That'll come out. Oh. Yeah, and then there's that one ground wire on the back. Oh, it's like a baby Torx. How annoying. Let's see if we can get it. Okay, that's like a really small Torx. It's smaller than T10, so it must be like a T5 or something. I'll have to find my small electronics screwdrivers, because I'm pretty sure I've got a head for it that I can use. I just don't know where it is, so I'll just stop the video here quickly and then we'll get that fixed. Alright, so the screw ended up being a T8, so I just have a small screwdriver set for that. So I was able to get the part out. So the last part that came out, if you can read that or not, but it was a revision 4 from 2319, and then this one is a revision 4 from 3522. So I think that must be the week and the year. So this one is 3 years newer. It's the newest rev. So we'll try to put that new screw on here. They give you a new screw, I guess, in case you strip the one taking it out. It seems like you could rebuild these things in a matter of minutes. So if you wanted to start a rebuild shop, I don't know what kind of labor they give for the warranty work, but they charge quite a bit. So I did not look at where the wire was clocked when I took it out. I think I want to clock it down. It's a bit of a guess. I think I want to take that wire out. It's kind of wrapped around a bunch of stuff. I see that being an issue. Yeah, I'm losing money. The rental place are firing me for not rebuilding their stuff quick enough. Okay. Because it is a lot of rental shops that rebuild tools. Although in Kingston here, there is a place that rebuilds all the major manufacturers' stuff. Well, having a magnet tip would be helpful for this. The T8's not tiny, but it would be nice to have a magnet. Okay, so you've got that, the top. There's an arrow that you want to line up with the M18. Prepare to drop that in. Obviously, completely backwards. What am I doing? I've gotten mixed up. Yeah, so there's a little metal locating pin to help you put that in. Multimeter is kind of getting in on the job. It doesn't belong here. Need to slide in the rotor. Just checking the bearings. China 526 LUT. If you can see that or not, but I think it's 526 LUT or 626 LUT. And then this one's got a metal shield on it. I can't see a number on it. It says Pier. Okay. 2869 for this one. So that went through. You can engage that. There's some planetaries at the back of this gearbox. So one bearing is supported by the gearbox and the other bearing is supported in the plastic housing. So that's coming together pretty good. So I think rather than fight with this thing on video here, I'm going to put it back together and then we'll see if it works or not. Got it back together. Maybe I shouldn't have unraveled that black wire. It seems like it could have maybe been a plan the way it was wrapped around, which is kind of strange, but it's in there. I did have to adjust the angle of the screw, be facing up out of the tool. That helped me. I've got the foam underneath of the trigger, the gear select, forward, reverse, and all this. These three parts are all kind of interlocked together, and then the faceplate clips onto the bottom part. So I should be able to put this on again, hopefully. Don't want to flush any of the wiring as we're putting this back together. That ribbon cable was kind of awkward being in there. Alright, I'm going to take my time and get this in, and then we'll do the test. All pieced back together, so it's got 2 gears. You can switch it to high speed. So hopefully that gets me another 5 years. I'm not sure how much length you can get out of them in like a real commercial use or what have you. But it's something you could definitely fix during some downtime at work if you're a mechanic. And so here's the instructions you get from Milwaukee when you put in your information. So it told me I needed to get that part right here. And then it ended up, they don't revise part numbers in the drawing here. You'll find out that that one's discontinued in the 93 part. You need it. It gives you key points and where to sneak the wires through. It gave you a little blow up diagram where how you should position that wire so it doesn't get snipped off. And there would be a little bit of information on where to put that foam pad, I think. I did notice that when I was taking it apart, I had like a mystery piece. There was like a little metal V, and I looked on the drawing, and it was supposed to be underneath of the gear select kind of thing for forward reverse, part number 39. So I was able to put that back in, and it worked. So I don't know why these things fail so bad. Like I did a video before about these a couple of years ago, well probably 5 years ago now. So I've had 1/4 inch impact gun quit on me, and then this one has died on me twice. And I really don't understand the why of it. But at first you'll have to like disconnect the battery and reconnect the battery, and it'll start to work again. But that's a warning that you need to order new electronics for it because it's on its way out. And I was able to get that part overnight with free shipping, so it kind of keeps you going and keep your gun going. Like if you've got extra like plastic covers and stuff, and you got more money invested in your tool, you could certainly keep rebuilding it. When it reaches the next time, when it be 15 years old, that's pretty old. I'm not sure if I'm going to rebuild it or not. See what they have out there on the market, whether they have fluid drive 3/4 inch drive impact guns or not, or what's out there. They might be like super stubby. So I'll see what's out on the market at that point. The torque is fine on this. I've heard that the higher, like the 1-inch guns are not that good from Milwaukee. And really when you get into 1-inch, if you can swing it, you should have a really big air receiver and then like a 1-inch line going to your 1-inch gun. And that'll do good wheel service work. Where these, they'll do wheel service to some extent. They've got like a one with a long anvil on it for doing wheel service. But if you get into a tough one, you'll have to break out the air gun to finish the job. And this is just a cheap adapter I've got on here. So this one's got the hog ring on it, and you can put a pin and pin the adapter onto it. Like I don't actually use it for 3/4 inch sockets. It's all for half. Just kind of went for it for the torque at the time. It made sense, but the 1/2 inch drive guns might be equivalent to what this thing can put out now. So anyway, I wanted to do this video so you could see that it's really easy and that doesn't take any time to rebuild one of these tools. Just go to the Milwaukee website, get the parts drawing for it, order the part, and you can get it put together within a half an hour of receiving the part. So thank you for watching.